Hello, hi, this is Sol. And well, since the sun is opposing Ceres today, I thought I'd share a little bit about. Well, I've done quite an extensive work on Ceres because, well, first of all, I think her mythology is just incredible. And secondly, it is, it keeps, coming to me. It is something that I find extremely important to work with these feminine energies because, well, I'm a true feminist in the sense that I would love to experience how it would be to completely free the inner woman and not be afraid of it and not keep things down or not hide some aspects of my personality because social sanctions tells me otherwise. So shamelessly living freely as a woman, that's what I'm intending to do. And feeling the feminine is just a blissful state. It's a sweetness in the yin quality, and we need that sweetness. We cannot, drive too hard. We will lose our softness and our beauty if we do that. Beauty is a state of mind. And it is truly ecstasy if you manage to release yourself into it and not chase all the time. Chasing is very masculine, right? So it's a beautiful day to just get seated and enjoy and receive and nurture yourself a little bit, pamper yourself. I will take my daughter out for a movie. I have a daughter-mother date. Yay! I'm so lucky. It's so beautiful. I'm looking forward to it. We're going to see trolls. And yeah, so it really fits. It wasn't planned. And today was the day because my son is going elsewhere and it was just us two. So I thought, yeah, let's go to the movies. And it didn't occur to me until I wanted to make this video that, oh my God, it's Sun-Ceres opposition, mother-daughter. Because Ceres, for those of you who knows a little bit about the myth, um, is the mythology of the mother-daughter. And I'd like to just see if I can go through it quite quickly because it's so interesting. But first, just a little prehistoric point of view. We've been around for quite a while, human beings. We know Earth. We know her changing cycles. We know how moody she can be. There were years when none of us had anything to eat, when we were all freezing in the snow and we all died. We died of famine. And before we started to cultivating earth, which was around 10,000 before Christ, we were even more vulnerable, being hunter-gatherers and at the mercy of nature. And this embedded into our genetic makeup a deep need to control things, a deep need to, control the mother, a deep need to have some sort of overview. And today, with the help of science, we have better opportunities to actually control nature than ever before. And still, today we see Earth is she's not easily manipulated. I mean, she's now showing us that some of her ground is barren thanks to industrialized farming, etc. So it's not that, science can save us completely. It is that we need to understand the rhythms of nature, understand the rhythms of life, and understand the rhythms of the feminine. So back to this myth. It's been with us for a long time, and it's a major point for me to emphasize is that perhaps if you consider this a little deeper, you can see why the existential insecurities in humanity are so great. Because, it wasn't enough for everyone all the time. That's our primary belief system, that there's not enough for everyone. And it makes us fight. It makes us distrust life. It makes us push out of the feminine and into the what we could call the patriarchy. I in many ways I have this strong resistance towards using these words because they're so abused. So we went into we went away from the 13 moon calendar where we follow the rhythms of nature and the cycles of the menstruating woman, and we entered into a world where we have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, blah blah blah, and 12 hours a day, etc. More concrete, more structured, more organized, but always the same. Today, people don't relax. They never listen to their bodies. They have to go to yoga to learn this shit. You know, it's just, wow, we've gotten so far away from our bodies that we can't even see it growing older. It is like, ew, growing older. Wrinkles. Give me some medication for them. And it's like, we want to live healthy lives, of course, and if you do that, and if you relax, and if you have balance on the inner level, beauty will always radiate out of you because you are in connection with beauty. Beauty is sweet, it is there, it is silent, you just have to listen to it. And, you know, even though life on earth, as it always was and always will be, is not steady. It's not something we can rely on in a way. We don't know if we're here tomorrow. Death is our next door companion. It's always there. We can hope, you know, there's always a chance that I'll be here tomorrow and you'll be there tomorrow. But we also know that we are always, you know, as passengers, we are always at the mercy of our mothership. It's just a natural thing. And I think it fills us with a need to control things, an urge to control. This urge has followed us for a long time, and this urge can lead to wars. We know that too. And in the old days, you know, Demeter myth is very old, and it precedes the Ceres myth. They had that Eleusinian rites. Every year they gathered what they call the initiates. They were given kyklon, which was a psychotropic, they think, substance, and they were taken into the temple of Demeter, Ceres. And inside this temple, you know, there were things happening that couldn't be, you know, it was completely secret. If you let it out, you died. But what most likely happened in these temples, inside these temples, was the actual confrontation with death. And with the illusion of death being exposed. A true initiate, a true disciple, a true initiate has no fear of death. It is part of Buddha, the creation of the Buddha. Death comes and dances around him and go, boo, you know. And Buddha is completely still in his meditation and moves not. Not moving, steady, inside the storm of dying and living, right? So that's the initiations, like you're free from the fear of death, then you can start living, of course. And that's the myth of Ceres. And what does it do with the mother-daughter? Well, it depicts the kind of problems that we see with living on Earth in human form. It sort of takes this fear of change into a mythology. And it's beautiful what it does. Ceres is the goddess of grain. She's there nurturing Earth, taking care of everyone. She has one daughter, Persephone. She loves this daughter more than anything on Earth. And if you have kids, you know that you get this feeling when your child is small and they're in their rooms and they're playing and it's all quiet and it's all safe. It's the best feeling in the world. It is like complete. It's a complete moment. There's nothing that is more harmonious than such a moment where the mother and the child are both happy. And then the child grows. And the challenges become different. I mean, she goes into puberty. This is Persephone. When we meet her in the mythologies, she's entering into puberty. And Hades, or Pluto, has got her eye on her. You know, his eye on her. And he abducts her. Faye Blake Kossar posted a blog yesterday where she's proposing something that I've seen a few other places as well, that she voluntarily enters into Hades. And you can just, and I, into Hades' arms. But, for me, it's just, that makes a lot of sense too, absolutely, because when you're a teenager, your hormones are brewing. You don't pay much attention to your mother saying, don't go with that guy, he's bad for you, or you can get pregnant, don't have sex. That's what kids want to learn. What's sex? How do you get there? It's natural. And I want to kiss, you want to do all the crazy stuff your mother fears. Because from a mother point of view, if she's pregnant, she's stuck for the rest of her life with a kid, with a lover that's perhaps not good for her, etc. The urge to control her kid is justified. Anyway, she's out doing her things. She's a goddess of grain. She has to do her stuff. She's sharing food and stuff. And Persephone is gone when she gets back, and she's completely devastated. She's losing her mind over this loss. It's the most brutal thing you can imagine. It's the rape of the soul, almost. It is the death of spirit when losing a child. And those who lost a child, you know how devastating it can be. One of the more famous charts for Sun-Ceres conjunction is the chart of Madeleine McCann, the British girl that was abducted when she was 3 or 4 years old while the family were vacating in Portugal. That's a bad one, huh? God, I'd be completely crushed. And it's not something you can do about it. And imagine how many children we've lost during our time on Earth. We are genetically wired to be afraid to lose our children. We are genetically wired to control our kids, that's for sure. But at one point, we just have to let go of control as well. We just have to let go. So this, and Ceres, she refuses to let go. She roams the earth trying to find her kid. She starves humans. She's making a lot of fuss. And Jupiter, who knew about this, Jupiter, her brother, who knew about this because Pluto came to him and asked if he could please just take, he needed a wife. And he thought, sure, why not, And that's part of also, the hint of, sort of the patriarchy versus the matriarchy. Sometimes there has to be this masculine decision. This is the right time for Persephone to get, married. And she would never let go of her kid, so it's sort of forced on her. And it is that battle, Sometimes you can see Ceres very strongly in charts where there's some sort of divorce fight over kids. And or a divorce in general. And it is also that very angry feminine, like you lacked respect, you're not respecting me, and you disrespect me, etc. So it's just a furious rage. And when she discovers that it's sort of like a conspiracy that she lost her daughter, she's completely devastated, and she gets she's angry. So that's also part of waking up and realizing that there's been deceit, that there's been abuse, that there's, whenever Ceres is active in the chart of rapes, for instance, and when you discovered this, of course there is anger. Of course, the powerlessness that you experience with change can lead to anger, death, loss, rape, abuse. Everything can lead to anger. So it is definitely a wild, dark side of the feminine that comes forth through Ceres. And you can also see it in the chart of Hillary Clinton, who's born with the Sun-Ceres opposition. She has this experience of being... she was deceived by her husband. She was he went behind her back and had sex with a younger woman. And still, she stood by him... Why, we don't know, of course. There can be many reasons for it. But at least, it was a humbling, devastating experience one thing is having a spouse cheat on you, another thing is having the world watching. I mean, there's slightly different stuff, But just as Madeleine McCann with her Sun-Ceres sort of showed the world that, oh my goodness, this is actual abduction. Sun-Ceres opposition with Hillary is showing the world that, this is another aspect of the mother. Look, I mean, you just give and give and give, and the spouse goes out and deceives you. And then you have Beyonce, who is also a Sun-Ceres conjunction in Virgo. She's also one of these feisty, strong women types. And if you look at another one, which is the Hunger Games, Jennifer Lawrence, she's also a Sun-Ceres conjunction. She's like, Hollywood thinks I'm fat. Do you think I'm care? I love her. She's just beautiful and strong, and just imagine she played that movie, The Hunger Games. How appropriate for Sun-Ceres conjunction, huh? You can't make this shit up. And it is about that, that strength of being a goddess, of being completely self-sufficient. I mean, that's also something. And learning to let go of whatever is not yours to hold on to. You have to learn to distribute and to let go and release and die without being afraid and coming back to security again. So this aspect is just about spiritual sustenance, of trusting whatever is life. And we don't know what's going on afterwards. I mean, we just have to accept our kids grow older, we grow older, we have to let go, let go, let go, let go. So Ceres has, many layers to it. She has many dimensions. She has many phases, like the first phase where she's completely embedded with her child, the status quo before the rape, before the abduction, and then the sense of despair and confusion when the change happens, and then after figuring out how to getting the overview, returning to her kingdom again, and returning to her duties as a goddess. I mean, but accepting this change. When the conspiracy is revealed to Ceres, she together with the other gods, they agreed that, all right, 6 months every year, Persephone will go underground and be with her spouse. And the other 6 months of the year, she will come up again and be with her mother. And it was a compromise. Sometimes we just have to make a compromise with life. We can't get it. I need full control and security before I'm able to live. We can't do that. We have to figure out where's the golden, the middle path. And if we can do that, I think also we can achieve a greater and deeper sense of security. We won't be so afraid if our kids are, in one way or another, making us feel insecure. There will be changes. So embrace change and have a great, nurturing, warm, and brilliant day. Thank you for listening.